However, we're on to exercise 36. Take a look at the graph to the right. The figure on the right contains data on cinema visits in the Netherlands. Okay. Then we're first going to take a good look at this thing, because I already see something happening with colors and different colored line charts. It says cinema visits in the Netherlands, with Dutch films being on the left axis with right, and the total number of, I guess, tickets sold times a million on the right. They both have a tier line here. Okay, so that's why you start there. There's an asterisk attached here. It says the number of tickets sold for Dutch films as a percentage of the total number of tickets sold. Oh, okay. So this is a percentage-based axis. 12%, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. Well, this is an actual amount, right? Total numbers, 28 million, 29 million, 30 million, 31 million, etc. And then the red line corresponds with the red axis, the blue line with the blue axis. 36a. So that's the first thing you should do, right? Understand what the line chart is about. Certainly when you have two axes. What is the percentage increase in the total number of cinema visits from 2011 to 2015? Okay. Total number, so I can totally ignore the red line. In 2015, that's right here, right? To 2011, that's right here. And this is just a new minus old over old situation. Here in 2015 it's 33 million, but this is also a million, so what I can do is just 33 minus what I find here. Well, what's in between 30 and 31? Not between 16 and 18, right? Keep reading this axis. It's 30 and a half. New minus old over old times 100%. So that's approximately, let's see, 8.2% increase. Okay, and that's it. So it says new minus old over old, but now you should be able to read the information from the actual line chart instead from a table or an article. B. What's the percentage decrease in the number of tickets sold for Dutch films in 2014 to 2016? Let's see. Let's first see what most people, well, not most people hopefully, but what some people would do. They say, well, percentage decreased for Dutch film tickets. So they're going to take a look at this thing here. That's in 2014. And this thing here. And they say, well, percentage decrease. So I can just do whatever this is. That is approximately, I think, 21%. And let's do this thing here. And that's going to be 12 and a bit. And then subtract them. And then say, oh, that's a percentage, so percentage decrease. But if you take a look back at the first paragraph, we see that subtracting percentages like that is not a percentage increase, it's a percentage points increase or decrease. What I want to do is, and also there's another factor that you have to take in here. It's not only that, it's not that you can just do new minus old over old times 100%. That's the second thing you can do wrong. You also have to take into account to how many tickets those percentages then match up. For example, here that's approximately 21% corresponds to that percentage of, well, 30.8 million or something. While here, that 12 points a bit percent matches up with that 34.3 million or something. If you get an exercise like this, by the way, on the test, reading here can be a bit difficult, so you are allowed to have a small margin of error. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a look at the numbers they use in the book, but if you find that you find, for example, here instead of, I would say 21 here maybe, right? This seems like 21. Well, the book says 20.9. 21, if you work with that on the test or in your exercise, that's perfectly fine. Here, the book says 12.3. If you said 12.2, that's totally okay. But let's take a look how we can do this. So, First, the number of tickets. You guys know this as a hashtag. It's also the symbol for number. Number of tickets in 2014 is equal to, well, take this percentage, which I would say is 21, book says 20.9, convert that to a decimal number, times the total amount. Here this seems like 30.8 million to me. And it will give me that many tickets. Then the amount of tickets in 2016. Take a look at this number here, which the book says is 12.3. So you get this. Multiply that with this amount, 34.3 or 34.2, whatever you read off. Let's take 2. And although this amount here is higher, you see that the percentage is that much lower that you actually get a lower number. And now we can finally do new minus odd over odd times 100%. Right, so this is new. So new minus odd over odd times 100% will give me approximately minus 34.7%. So, conclusion, a decrease of 34.7%. Okay, so this is a tricky one. This seems not that difficult, but there are multiple ways to do this incorrectly. Just doing this minus this, but it's percentage points. Subtracting this without taking into account that the tickets, number of tickets sold is different. This is the way to do it. Okay. C. The line charts have 3 intersection points. What do those points? Why do those points have no meaning? Yeah, because they correspond with a totally different axis. This is a percentage-based axis. This is a number axis. This goes actually to 18, 20, 22%. This is actually 21, 29 million, 30 million. So the answer to this question here is, yeah, you can say the line charts are about different things, or the lines match with different axes. Jesus, that's not a bit better. The lines match with different axes. I don't know why I wrote it with an E here. Match. Okay. Let's take a look at D. Or a longer one. Yay. In 2014, the revenue from ticket sales for Dutch films totaled 49.3 million euros. That was 19.7% of the total revenue from ticket sales. Okay. Did a ticket for a Dutch film on average cost more or less than a ticket for a foreign film in 2014? And what's the percentage difference? Okay. This is not a fun one, I think. This is going to be a rather long one. We're talking about 2014. Well, luckily we have from exercise B here the number of tickets for Dutch films in 2014. So we can copy that. That was 6 million and 200. Okay. What I can do is, if this is the total amount of tickets and we also have the total price, 49.3 million, I can figure out how much a ticket for a Dutch film costs, right? So you can say price of Dutch film is equal to, well, how much I have here, 43.8 million That's all films together, but I have to divide that over how many movies there were. I think this is still kind of straightforward, I guess. The price of a Dutch film is 7.66. But how can I now figure out what the price is for a foreign film? Well, first of all, how many foreign films were there? Well, if I know the total amount of films we knew from here were 30.8 million. This were the Dutch amounts. So if I'm going to take this minus the Dutch tickets, I have the foreign tickets. So amount of foreign F tickets in 2014 is going to be that 30.8 million minus how many there were that were Dutch. We'll find 24,362,800. Okay, it's a number of foreign film tickets. I need that because at the end I have to do a division like this again, but now not with 6 million bit, but with this. But before I can do that, I must first find what the revenue was for the foreign films. Well, I know that the Dutch films made 49.3 million euros, and that was 19.7%. So this is part, right? This is a part. If I now want to calculate the total, I can take that 49.3 mil and divide it by 0.1. Oh, that's a weird way to write it. 0.197. What you can do, some other people first divide this by 19.7, then you have 1%, and then do it times 100% to find the total. However, I'm not that interested in the total, because the total again also include the Dutch films. So if I now would do this, I have the total amount of tickets. Yeah, you can do that and then again subtract the amount that the Dutch films made. You can also do this in one go, because you know that if this 19.7% is the Dutch films, then the percentage for the foreign films is 100% minus 19.7%. That's 80.3%. So instead of multiplying it with 100% and then subtracting one from the other, you can just do it times 0.803. Again, the other way would work as well. Do it times 100%, and you get there as well. Okay. If you do it like this, you will find that this is approximately it's a big number, something like this, euros. Okay, and what you're now going to do is divide one upon the other. So now the revenue, so this is the revenue for foreign films. So ticket price is going to be that number here, great number. Let's see, divide that by the total amount of tickets, 24. Go back please, 24. And then if you calculate this, you will find 8.25 euros. Okay, so I think the most tricky part in this calculation is this part here. You know, a part is this, so calculate it, and then that is your total amount, Did I say times 100 here? You don't have to do times 100 here, right? You immediately have the answer here. I'm sorry if I confused you with that. And then you do it times 0.803 because you want 80.3% of this number here. We can also split this out in two different calculations. Okay? Now we have the price of a Dutch film and the price of a foreign ticket. Did a ticket of a Dutch film on average cost more or less? Then, so we're comparing to foreign tickets. Because we're comparing to foreign tickets, it's that new minus old over old, but now A minus B over B. So we have Dutch tickets minus foreign tickets over foreign tickets times 100%. There's a negative number, of course, because the numerator is negative. Approximately minus 7.2%. So, and now conclusion. Dutch film tickets cost on average 7.2% less. And then if you want to make it more, then did I really write den with an E there? Oof. Den with an A, of course. Our tickets to a foreign film. Okay. So this is a long one, actually. Right? Hopefully I was able to clear out a bit how it worked. Sorry if I made a mistake here in my explanation. Maybe I did. I didn't hear myself. If I cannot hear myself back immediately, again after the video, but I think this part is the part that throws up the most people off. Okay? If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in class. Hopefully you are able to finish up this chapter just fine. Bye bye.